The text message was sent at 2:47 a.m. 3 words that would shatter millions of hearts around the world. We're officially done. By morning, the internet had exploded. The golden couple of Hollywood was no more. But this isn't just another celebrity breakup story. This is about two souls who found each other in the chaos of fame, built an empire together, and watched it all crumble under the weight of expectation. So grab your tissues and settle in because what you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about Hollywood's most beloved power couple. It all started on a rainy Tuesday in 2018. She was running late to an audition, coffee-stained script in one hand. He was leaving the same building, fresh off a career-changing meeting. The collision was inevitable. Papers scattered across the wet pavement. Her latte splashed across his designer jacket. And in that moment of chaos, something magical happened. Their eyes met, and the world seemed to pause. "I'm so sorry," she stammered. "Don't be," he said, kneeling down to help. "I think you just gave me the best excuse to be late I've ever had." That's how she tells the story, anyway. In interviews, she'd always smile when she got to that part. He'd squeeze her hand and add, "I knew she was trouble the second she ruined my favorite jacket." They'd both laugh. The audience would swoon. And teenage girls would write their names together in heart-shaped bubbles. But fairy tales, they have a way of becoming nightmares when nobody's watching. She wasn't supposed to be famous. Growing up in small-town Ohio, she was the girl who ate lunch alone, who dreamed of stages she'd never seen. At 17, with nothing but a bus ticket and $200, she arrived in Los Angeles. She waited tables. She slept on couches. She auditioned for everything from toilet paper commercials to used car ads. Rejection became her daily bread. Then came the call that changed everything. A supporting role in a forgettable romantic comedy. But she was magnetic. Even in small scenes, the camera loved her. Within 2 years, she'd landed her first leading role. Within 5, she was on magazine covers. Success, though, it's a funny thing. The higher you climb, the more you have to lose. His story started differently. Born into Hollywood royalty, he was third-generation movie magic. His grandfather had been a legendary director. His father, celebrated actor with 2 Academy Awards. The spotlight found him before he could walk. He didn't want it at first. He studied pre-med at Stanford, taught English in Thailand, considered joining the Peace Corps. Anything to escape the family name, but blood will out. His first film was supposed to be a favor to his father's old friend. Nobody expected it to premiere at Sundance. Nobody expected him to become an overnight sensation. Fame is intoxicating when you're not used to it. It's also terrifying. By the time he met her, he'd learned to navigate celebrity waters. He'd had his scandals, his heartbreaks, his moments of spectacular failure. He was tired of the fake smiles, the calculated conversations, the constant performance. Then she spilled coffee on his jacket. And something felt real. Their first date was supposed to be casual. Coffee, maybe a walk. But 3 hours turned into 6, and 6 turned into them closing down a 24-hour diner at sunrise. Still talking, I told her things I'd never told anyone, he'd later say. She got it. The paparazzi caught them on their third date. Within weeks, they were everywhere. Red carpets, award shows, charity galas. They moved in together after 6 months. Got engaged after a year. Their wedding was the event of the decade. A Disney-perfect venue, a who's who guest list, and a love story that had the world believing in happy endings again. But fairy tale weddings end at midnight, and real life starts the next morning. The pressure was immediate and relentless. Every magazine wanted to know when they'd have kids. Every interviewer asked about their secret to success. They were no longer just two people in love. They were a brand, a symbol, dot and symbols. They're not allowed to be human. For 3 years, they played their parts perfectly. Joint interviews where they finished each other's sentences. Social media posts that made single people believe in soulmates. Behind closed doors, though, the cracks were showing. She'd landed the role of a lifetime, a biopic requiring 18-hour days, and method acting that left her emotionally drained. He was developing a passion project. Desperate to prove he was more than just his famous last name, they stopped talking about their days. Started having dinner in silence. Began sleeping on opposite sides of a bed that felt like an ocean. We became roommates, she'd later tell a friend. Polite roommates who happened to share a mortgage. The tabloids noticed first. Body language experts analyzing photos. Anonymous sources whispering about trouble in paradise. Then came the scandal that nearly broke them both. Photos surfaced of him having dinner with his co-star. Nothing inappropriate, just colleagues sharing a meal. But in celebrity gossip, perception is reality. The headlines were vicious. Cheating scandal rocks Hollywood's golden couple. She was filming in London when the story broke. She found out scrolling through her phone at 6 a.m., seeing her life dissected by strangers instead of calling him. She posted a cryptic quote. Sometimes the person you'd take a bullet for ends up being the one behind the gun. Within minutes, it had 1 million likes. And somewhere in Los Angeles, he was watching the woman he loved destroy their relationship 140 characters at a time. That night, he flew to London. Stood outside her hotel in the rain for 3 hours, begging her to let him explain. She never came down. The next few months were a masterclass in falling apart publicly. Separate red carpet appearances. Carefully worded statements about focusing on individual projects. Their friends took sides. Their fans held vigil on Twitter. But behind all the noise, 2 people who had once been inseparable were learning to live apart. She threw herself into work. Back-to-back films, a television series, a passion project that would earn her an Oscar nomination. Success became her drug of choice. He retreated from the spotlight, turned down major roles. Spent months in therapy trying to figure out how he'd lost everything that mattered. For a while, it looked like they might reconcile. There were sightings, him at her movie premiere, her at his charity event. Slipping out before cameras caught them. They called off divorce proceedings 3 times. They loved each other, their attorney would later say. The question was whether love was enough to survive the machine of Hollywood. It wasn't. The final straw came on what should have been their 5th wedding anniversary. Instead of celebrating together, she was in New York, filming a talk show. He was in his childhood bedroom, staring at wedding photos. That's when he sent the text. 2:47 a.m. Pacific Time. We're officially done. She read it at 5:47 a.m. in her New York hotel room. She didn't cry, didn't scream. She just ... breathed. For the first time in months, she could breathe. The announcement came through their publicists the next morning. A joint statement as polite and bloodless as a corporate merger, asking for privacy during their transition. The internet lost its collective mind, but the most interesting reaction came from their fans themselves. Instead of unified heartbreak, there was division. Team Her believed he'd never appreciated her sacrifices. Team Him painted her as coldly ambitious, using their relationship as a stepping stone to A-list status. The truth was somewhere in between. Neither was the villain. Neither was the saint. They were just 2 people who'd loved each other fiercely and lost themselves in the process. The divorce took 8 months to finalize. 8 months of lawyers and accountants dividing up a life that had once felt infinite. Everything had a price. Everything could be split. Everything except the memories. She kept the engagement ring. He kept their rescue dog. Neither could bear to part with the photo from their first red carpet appearance. Today, 3 years later, They're both rebuilding. She's found love with a documentarian who exists outside Hollywood's machine. He's taking a break from acting, dating a kindergarten teacher he met at his nephew's school play. They're both happy. Different than they were together, but happy. The fans have mostly moved on. New couples to obsess over, new love stories to believe in. But sometimes, late at night, an old photo surfaces. The two of them laughing at some forgotten premiere, looking at each other like they held the secrets of the universe, and for just a moment, the comments fill with hearts and tears. People remembering what it felt like to believe in forever. Because love stories that end badly don't erase the good parts. They just remind us that sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes, two people can be perfect for each other and still be wrong for each other's lives. She said it best in a recent interview. Regret implies I would change it if I could. But that love, that pain, that whole messy, beautiful disaster, it made me who I am. How can I regret becoming myself? He hasn't spoken about her publicly since the divorce. But those close to him say he keeps a small photo in his wallet. Not from their wedding, just a candid shot from a farmer's market when they still believed they could have normal Sundays forever. The photo is worn now, soft at the edges. A reminder not of what was lost, but of what was possible. The 2:47 a.m. text that ended everything also began something new. To people learning to love themselves. Two hearts discovering that broken doesn't mean worthless. It's not the ending anyone wanted. But maybe it's the ending they both deserved. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape our understanding of love and loss. Asterisk. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more trending stories. See you tomorrow with another big news because, at Luminoir, we believe every ending is just another beginning in disguise. Asterisk.